Welcome to the 2022 KYB Leadership Academy Full Steam Ahead Conference. I am KYB leader Taylor Cunningham, and I am a cohort president for KYB Leadership Academy in Alabama. It is with excitement that we welcome our elected officials, KYB Leadership Academy scholars, speakers, and guests. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge Sydney Y.K. Brown, Executive Director for RBW PH Awareness Group, and Dr. Catherine Y. Brown, founder of the Dr. Catherine Y. Brown Leadership Academy, who are also here today. KYB Leadership Academy has held the KYB Full Steam Ahead Conference for 3 consecutive years. As a program, it was observed that students were lacking information and opportunities regarding careers in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. It is for this reason that KYB Leadership Academy strives to provide opportunities for middle, high school, and college scholars to learn more about possible careers in STEAM through this conference, KYB Full Steam Ahead. Before we get started with today's event, we would like everyone to stop and let's get social. Let's take 10 seconds and take a selfie to commemorate today's event. Please tag us in your posts using hashtag KYB Leadership so we can see them. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at KYB Leadership. In closing, there are many people who helped to make today's program a success. I would like to thank the committee, keynote speakers, and everyone who worked behind the scenes to make the day a success.
Greetings. I am a KYB leader, Sayana Esco, and I serve as a member of the KYB Leadership Academy in Turks and Caicos Islands. I am a KYB Alumni Ambassador. I would like to begin our conference by reciting our KYB Leadership Academy mantra. Today, my words will express to everyone and to myself that I am a KYB leader. Today, my thoughts will be a constant reminder that I am a KYB leader. Today, my actions will show the world that I am a KYB leader. I am a KYB leader. While the mantra is fairly short and it has boundless meaning, the mantra expresses how our words, thoughts, and actions have a profound impact on who we are and who we become. As we begin today's program, we would like to share a brief overview and measurable outcomes that demonstrate some of KYB Leadership Academy's collective impact. KYB Leadership Academy began in 2016 with 7 KYB leaders known as the Significant 7. We now have over 250 KYB leaders nationally and internationally. To date, we have completed over 100,000 community service hours as an academy. In closing, I would like to briefly share with you 3 things you may not know about KYB Leadership Academy. Building the capacity for leadership is not just what we say, it is what we do. And leadership is woven through the entire KYB Leadership Academy curriculum. Remember, KYB Leadership Academy was created to provide opportunities to not only learn leadership, but to demonstrate leadership. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. I am KYB leader Faith Warner, and I serve as the Vice President of the KYB Leadership Academy cohort in Alabama. As a program sponsored by the RBW PH Awareness Group, We have signature programs that include the annual RBW PH Awareness Day, including a 5K and health fair. RBW Her Life, Our Legacy Jazz Brunch that honors those whose mothers have transitioned. The RBW Health Symposium, which focuses on mental health. The KYB Leadership Academy focuses on building the capacity for global leadership while also increasing awareness of pulmonary hypertension. Therefore, we also host the KYB Caregiver Appreciation Dinner, which honors caregivers to remind them of the importance of caring for themselves while caring for others.
Hello, everyone. I'm KYB leader Alexis Taylor, and I'm a member of KYB Leadership Academy at Fisk University, where I'm majoring in biology and psychology. I'm also a KYB alumni ambassador from cohort 22 and part of the KYB travel team. Today, you each have the opportunity to learn about the amazing careers available in these fields from several content experts. I've also listed an overview of the agenda on the screen for you. Many of these careers require you to ask questions, think creatively, be innovative, and connect the dots. Many people are familiar with STEM, the acronym, but STEAM is a growing area of focus that encompasses the STEM subjects, but also incorporates the arts. Whether you're in middle school, high school, or college, take advantage of each part of today's conference. Take notes, ask questions. This is a valuable information, and we have dynamic content experts serving as keynote speakers that can help you explore the possibilities as you consider your own STEAM career one day.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us today. I am KYB leader Raymond Hawkins, and I will be serving as your moderator. Today, our speakers will share their backgrounds during their introduction so that you can hear their passion for what they do. I am a graduate student at Meharry Medical College and serve as Vice President of the KYB Leadership Academy cohort of scholars from Meharry Medical College. This includes medical students, dental students, and public health students. I'm currently a graduate school candidate and will complete my Master of Health Science this year in May 2022. I'm excited to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Leah Alexander from the field of science.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for inviting me. I am happy to join you and share with you more about the career of public health. So I should just start off and fess up. I landed in the career of public health a little haphazardly. I went to Spelman College for undergrad and spent probably my first year there thinking I was going to be a science major, going to medical school. And then I think I got into one of those pesky chemistry classes and I changed my mind and was a little bit lost for a bit. I mean, I always loved the arts. I loved psychology, I loved sociology, and I still had an appreciation for science. So when I graduated, somebody suggested that I look into public health. I had never heard about it before, but I said, sounds good. Let me check it out. So when I was asked to join to kind of talk about my field and what I do, I was just thrilled. Because there may be some people on the call who, much like me, don't really know much about the field of public health. So that's what I'm here to share with you today. So I have a PhD in health education and promotion and a Master of Public Health, both from the University of Alabama, Birmingham. And I am the director of a small but mighty Master of Public Health program at Meharry Medical College. So many people probably know that Meharry trains probably the most Black dentists and physicians, but there's also a graduate school at Meharry. And so my program is housed in the graduate school, and we confer MPH degrees, so Master of Public Health degrees. Next slide, please. Next slide. And I think I don't know if this is gonna work. Yeah, I think the link was broken. Great. So before we get started, I thought I'd share some definitions about public health, and if you could click through one more time. So there's a lot of them. And as you all are thinking about your careers, oftentimes it's wonderful just to start with a definition. So one of my favorites, there are many, but one of my favorite definitions for public health, the science and art of preventing disease, prolonging life, and promoting health through organized efforts, informed choices of society, organizations, public and private, community, and individuals. So for me, this really spoke to me because I really do like science. I didn't really like organic chemistry, but other than that, the other sciences I did fine and did well in. And I like art. And so I was sort of intrigued thinking about this field of public health and what that combination would look like. Next slide, please. So public health focuses on prevention, okay? So what are the things that we can do? What are the things that we can put in place to keep people from getting sick in the first place, okay? Traditional medicine tends to sort of focus on curing people once they've become ill, but public health focuses on prevention. And also in public health, the community is our patient. So I'm not a medical doctor and I don't want to confuse folks, but we think about ways to impact the health of communities. Whereas a doctor or a nurse practitioner oftentimes is interacting, with individual patients. Next slide, please. So what is prevention? It's the planning for and taking of action to forestall the onset of a disease or other health problem, okay? So what are some of the things that we could put in place to keep people from ever becoming sick, to make sure that people are reaching their ultimate goal for health and wellness for themselves? Next slide, please. So when we think about prevention and how we want to sort of divvy up what we do in the field of prevention, there are really 3 levels that we consider. So if you'll click through one time, please. One more. So the first level is primary prevention. These are preventive measures that forestall the onset of injury or illness. So anything that we can do to keep people from getting sick in the first place, okay? And there's a lot of variability in how you can work in primary prevention. Next, one more click. Then the next level is secondary prevention. So these are preventive measures that lead to early diagnosis, prompt the treatment of a disease or illness. And we can focus on the secondary level of prevention oftentimes even before people know that they're sick. So they may have a disease process happening in their body, but they don't even realize it. Next slide, next click. Then our third level of prevention is tertiary prevention. And these are the things that we do to help people once they've been diagnosed with illness. And so the focus of tertiary prevention is really to keep people from getting any sicker. Okay, next slide. So if you can try to compare what we do in public health with traditional clinical medicine, so let's say physicians, physician assistants, nurses, nurse practitioners, public health, our focus is the community. Whereas in clinical or more traditional medicine, the focus tends to be on the individual. But honestly, there's opportunities for both of us, so public health practitioners and also people in clinical medicine, to kind of cross this border. So I don't want you to think that physicians don't ever think about what's happening in the community and they don't have opportunities to put programs in place to really make communities healthier. And I don't want you to think that public health practitioners never have an opportunity to interact with individuals, okay? So I have a quote down here at the bottom. Healthcare is vital to all of us some of the time, but public health is vital to all of us all of the time. If public health is working correctly and working well, then oftentimes you don't even really think about it. So there are issues like seat belts, right? I'm old enough to remember a time when you didn't have to wear a seatbelt when you got into the car. You could just pop in the back seat. Our parents would, squeeze us all in the back. But then somebody looked at some data, somebody learned something about accidents, automobile accidents, and somebody did some research and they said, okay, people need to be wearing seatbelts. So part of the role of public health was to put in place the rules, the policies, the expectation, the engineering in cars to make it so that everybody wears seatbelts, right? So now the way that we think about it, you wouldn't get in a car without putting on your seatbelt, but it wasn't always like that. If we think about immunizations, right? People in public health have been involved in the development of immunizations and vaccines. But there's also a part of public health that sort of works to educate people about vaccines, to try to help people make sure they have all the information that they need in order to answer questions that they may have about vaccines. So there's a lot of ways that people in public health are working to make sure that our population is as healthy as it can be. And oftentimes we don't even think about this work. Next slide, please. So let's see, I cannot see the chat, and I know there's quite a few people on the call. So let me just talk through an example, okay? So if we think about the 3 levels of primary prevention and how that impacts what we do in public health, it relates to all different types of diseases and issues. So for simplicity's sake, I'll just talk through an example from COVID-19. Since we have all, over the past 2.5 years or so, been involved in the fight against COVID-19. So primary prevention, as it relates to COVID-19, those are really the measures related to social distancing, wearing masks, any of those things that we do that would keep us from getting COVID-19. And so hopefully, as you all think about, the things that you may have been practicing to keep from getting COVID-19, hopefully you were wearing your mask. If you're in college, you may, be required to wear a mask on campus, wear a mask in the classroom, social distance in your classroom. So as a public health person, some of the work that I've done is, trying to understand what the barriers are to people wearing masks, trying to understand what barriers college students may have, frontline workers, to keeping themselves from getting COVID-19. Secondary, so if we think about the secondary level of prevention, the best example for that is really the vaccine, right? And so encouraging people to get the vaccine. Testing in some instances can be a good example of secondary prevention. So, have you been vaccinated? Have you gotten boosted? How often are you testing? I know at Meharry, if you're on campus, you're really supposed to be getting a COVID test every 2 weeks so that we can just manage and know, that we don't have a lot of COVID-19 on campus. And then at the tertiary level, so that's, what are the things that we're suggesting that people do once they become diagnosed with COVID-19? So are there things that you can do to keep from having to go to the hospital, right? If you're diagnosed. One of the things that we know now with COVID-19 and the Omicron virus is that it's not as deadly as some of the other strains, right? So people in public health many of us happen to be doing a lot of work in COVID-19, but that's because of how devastating COVID-19 has been across really the world. But we could talk about the 3 levels of prevention, like I said before, with any disease, any disease. It's really relevant. All right, next slide, please. So if we think about what people in public health do, there's about 10 things that we primarily focus on. And just because you are working in public health doesn't mean that you would have to do all 10. And it doesn't mean that you would have to limit yourself to just do one. So that's the other thing about the field of public health that I love. One, because it really is a combination of science and art. There's an opportunity for creativity. When I was at Spelman for about a semester, I was an art major. So, being able to bring in my love for art and science and helping my community has made public health a wonderful career for me. So just really quickly thinking about the things that people who work in public health do, we monitor health status to identify community health problems. We diagnose and investigate health problems and health hazards in communities. We inform, educate, and empower people about health issues. We mobilize community partnerships. We develop plans and policies that support individual and community health efforts. Next slide, please. We also enforce laws and regulations that protect health and ensure safety. We link people to needed personal health services and assure the provision of health care when otherwise available. We assure a competent public health and personal health care workforce. We evaluate the effectiveness, accessibility, the quality of personal and population health services, and we do research. So, hopefully just seeing that list, you can think, perhaps begin to see yourself working in this area. So, are you interested in health policy and you want to try to put rules in place that ensure that people have access to health? Or maybe you want to put rules in place that limit people's ability to smoke in restaurants. I mean, that was a big push. Even the way that we think about tobacco use in this country really was driven by public health practitioners. Research is a really big part of public health. We're setting questions, trying to get answers to questions, coming up with ways maybe to encourage people to get their COVID-19 vaccine. A research question might ask, what is going to be the best way in a vaccine hesitant population to get folks to feel more comfortable with getting their COVID-19 vaccine? And then we write grants and try to get money in order to stand up our research projects. So my work, I do HIV prevention research, particularly with African-American women in the South. I do breast cancer prevention research with African-American women, and then also here recently, COVID-19 research. Next slide. So thinking about the different disciplines in public health, there are a lot. So again, I'm just trying to bring home the variability in this career, because oftentimes I just don't think that people know all of the different options for folks who choose a career in public health, and you really don't have to be pigeonholed. So these are some typical disciplines. So environmental health, and that is exactly what it says it is. Considering what's going on in the environment that is negatively or positively impacting health. Biostatistics is our math. So if you like math, you're strong in math, biostatistics is a wonderful career. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about salaries, but in our career, biostatisticians and epidemiologists tend to be the highest paid individuals in our field. Behavioral science and health education. So that's what I do, thinking about strategies to educate people. So to provide folks with the information that they need in order to make decisions about their health. Health communication and health behavior are very closely linked. Communication has to be with any way that you share messages with folks. So that could be written, could be oral, it could be through technology. So health communications is really a wonderful very creative field. Epidemiology is basically looking at patterns and rates of disease in community. So epi and biostats are very closely linked. Health Services Administration and Management, people who go in this field typically run hospitals, okay? So in a hospital, there's the clinical side who treat the patients, but then there's the management side that's running the hospital, running the clinic. Maternal and child health is a very broad field. You could have all of these topics that I've talked about so far in the field of maternal and child health, but you're really focusing solely on mothers and children. Nutrition is understanding what people eat. International global health is exactly that. You are traveling to other countries, learning what you can about those health systems, and maybe given the opportunity to implement programs, but in a global or international setting. Public health laboratory practice is testing. So running labs right now, for us, there's a COVID-19 lab on Meharry's campus. So we're getting our tests back usually within a few hours. So it's the science and technology needed to run testing labs. So not just for COVID-19, but any disease. Public health policy, again, that sort of speaks to rules and regulations that can facilitate or constrain health. This is a wonderful field, and there really is limited numbers of minority folks that work in health policy. So, you know, if you think about, I know I mentioned smoking, or, you know, rules about restaurants needing to show how many calories are in meals. That was sort of driven by public health policy folks. So, you know, so that you may, you know, get the burger and fries and the shake and everything else and enjoy your meal. But public health folks will say, well, maybe if you know exactly how many calories are in all of that food, you might be motivated to make a healthier choice. And then public health practice, and people who work in public health practice typically work at the local and state level. So we have a local sort of county public health center, and then we also have public health organization at the state level. So next slide, please. I think that's all of my slides. Yep. So I will be happy to answer any questions. I guess there's an opportunity for questions a little bit later. Happy to answer any questions.
There is a couple questions. We do have a Q&A that we will discuss later, but did you want to answer one question right now?
Sure, no problem.
So there was a question in the chat regarding the, it was a Twitter feed, I believe, but it was about the HIV patient that was cured. I did talk to somebody about that as well, another HIV researcher, and they told me it had something to do with their specific disease. I think they had leukemia and they had specific bone marrow transplants. But you want to just answer that a little bit?
So I am not up on HIV cures in the lab, so I don't want to really speak to that. My research is more behavioral. So trying to understand why people don't use condoms, or why people might make the decision to use PrEP. So PrEP is a medication that if you're at high risk for HIV, if you take it, it's a daily pill, it will limit the likelihood that you would get HIV if you were exposed to it. So I have to, full disclosure, I'm not really up on the details of that case. I did hear about it briefly, and I know that there are numerous people who work in HIV cure trying to come up with ways to cure HIV. One of the things that I would say is that from what I know, it's a sort of complicated process. And if we think about, what it would really take to cure people from HIV, we will have to find a cure that will be a little easier to manage, right? Because there are this case that's in the news now, but there's some other cases of individuals who've been cured of HIV. The other thing that I will share is medication for HIV. So, You know, when I was your age, being diagnosed with HIV was really seen as a death sentence because we didn't have the medications that we have now. So now, if you get on your medication and take it like you're supposed to, you can really decrease the amount of HIV virus that's in your body, so that even if you were to slip up and have unprotected sex, if you were taking your medicine like you should and your viral load was decreased to pretty much nothing, then the likelihood that you would transmit the virus is very low. So I know people are working on the cure. It's a very complex process, but as they continue to do research in this area, you know, our hope is that one day there will be a cure that could be accessed by, you know, all people that are currently living with HIV.
Okay, thank you so much. Students, if you have any more questions for Dr. Alexander, please just drop them in the chat and we will try to get to them during the Q&A session. Thank you again, Dr. Alexander. Our next speakers are Jeteria Brown and Jules Tam from the field of engineering and math.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeteria Brown. I have a bachelor's in civil engineering from Tennessee State University and a master's in geospatial information systems from Tennessee State University as well. And I'm basically here to kind of give you guys a spiel about engineering and kind of teach you what you need to do to get into that field. Do you have slides? Or is it just a picture?
Mrs. Wiggins said she was going to share them.
You're on mute.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can introduce myself while we're waiting for the slides.
Have I been on mute this whole time?
Yes.
Sorry about that. Okay, so again, I'm Jeteria Brown. I have a background in civil engineering. That's my bachelor's, and my master's is in geospatial information systems. I have Jules Tam here as my partner in crime. He leads a nonprofit in Indiana called All-Star Imagination. He also works for the same organization with me as an electrical engineer. And we're basically here to kind of teach you guys about engineering and the path forward for what we can do to get you guys, you know, around that in that career field. Hat slides, unfortunately, did not get ready for this presentation, and I'm struggling to open my email address to send them right now. Jules, if you have the slides available, would you mind?
Yeah, just give me a sec and then I'll just put it up. Let me see if I can share my screen. Well, welcome to engineering, the bad thing. There you go. Give me a sec here.
Ms. Brown, we see your lips moving, but we don't hear you. But
I'm sorry, I don't know why he's going on mute. I am not even pressing nothing. So while he's doing that, I would like for you guys to kind of tell me what, using the emoji apps in the chat, let me know with a thumbs up, how many of you are familiar with engineering at all? Like, do you know what we do and why? I see some head nods. I don't see all cameras on, so I'm hoping I can at least see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so about a few of y'all, but I'm not sure how many, and I appreciate the participation. So briefly, engineering basically is the application of math and science to solve problems. So if you think about some of the problems that the lovely presenter before me brought up as far as like safety and health goes, you know, those were issues that once they are presented, you use the concepts of engineering, you know, to address those issues to pretty much make our lives better. If you think about the evolution of human beings over time, you know, we've constantly been on the road to put in technology in place to continuously make our lives better and easier at the end of the day. Say, thinking about the concept of cooking, where, back when olden times, they had to light a fire to cook. Now you can cook on the stove, you got air fryers going, there's so much technology that has been built around just the basic problem solving of being able to feed people and to feed families. So, and thank you so much, Jules. Appreciate that.
My pleasure.
So basically, that is really the center of engineering. And there's a lot of problems around the world that that uses engineering to help solve problems. Next slide, please. So some of the images I had on that first slide speak to some of the basic common engineering concepts that you will find at many universities. So for the main common engineering disciplines you will see is civil engineering, architectural engineering, mechanical engineering, and electrical engineering. And within those different disciplines, there are subcomponents associated with them. So as a civil engineer, you can focus on the environment and understanding how to make the environment better and putting in technology and to help improve the pollution within our world. As a structural engineer, that's mostly related to the foundation of housing. So at the end of the day, you're trying to build a house. If you want to make sure that you solve the problem of preventing that house from blowing down due to weather-related events, or just being able to handle the loads of the amount of people, the amount of stuff that's going to be in the house, you need a structural engineer in place to help you understand what that load is in order to have a better foundation for that house. Other concepts of civil engineering are transportation engineering. So if you think about the transition of roads and how smooth they become, well, I know about I-24, but in generally how smooth they've become compared to, riding on a gravel or dirt path on a horse and buggy. Transportation engineers mainly focus on, how do people get moving? How do we make life easier for them to get moving around the world and to be able to migrate to different areas? So, there are roads in place, sidewalks, bike routes, anything that involves moving people and to ensure that the traffic flow is smooth, that is being done by a transportation engineer. Next, you have architectural engineering, and some of the sub-disciplines within architectural engineering is really within because architectural engineering focuses predominantly on buildings and mostly really like the building design. So you may have an architect that wants to create a really complex twisted building. So any of the towers that you see downtown, if you've ever been to some of those cool places where they have those wacky, weird museums, or they have a building built upside down on the outside, but on the inside is just like a regular, normal space. That is where the architectural engineer comes in. They help make sure that, whatever weird or normal design that you want to create the outside of that structure, they help design that. They also help make sure they have a better understanding of the overall different functions of the systems in that building to make sure it's comfortable for you. So looking at mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, which is also MEP, you can focus on that, which again focuses on like the HVAC in the building, making sure you have power, making sure you're able to flush the toilet. That is something that, mostly architectural engineers have the skill sets in to design, outside of just mechanical and electrical engineers as well. Another discipline within architectural engineering that you can go into is being a construction engineer and a construction manager. So because again, they're more well-rounded to where they know a little bit about civil, a little bit about mechanical, a little bit about electrical, they can help guide and lead those different construction projects I can't see the question, sorry. They help guide those different construction projects, and those different people are part of those designs to make them make those projects go smoother and provide guidance to those different disciplines on how they can complete the overall picture. They help bring everything together. Thirdly, you have mechanical engineers, and they can get into more so like automotive design, robotics, information tech, and artificial intelligence, also as well as information technology and renewable energy, as well as just general energy as well. So like whether it be oil and pipelines versus looking into solar panels for, helping us get better energy solutions for the environment. Robotics, I do see a question. I can address that towards the end. For the robotics and artificial intelligence, they mostly focus on the mechanics of that. So how does this arm going to move? How is the legs going to stand up? How is the neck going to move? They focus on the mechanics of that. That doesn't fully relate to the power. Electrical engineers do that, and I can speak to that in the future. Mechanical engineering, and automated design. So again, that's like your cars, planes, rocket ships, anything that's really amount of automotion, and again, moving things that the civil engineer built the roads for. That's kind of where the mechanical engineer comes in. Then we have electrical engineer, which is Jules' specialty. So, some common disciplines that are related to electrical engineer are computer engineering. So again, if you're into, computer design, software, that's kind of where those disciplines kind of fall under. Power engineering. So that specifically speaks to like, electricity and circuitry. And again, the design around making sure that your system, like your car has the power, your house has power, so that you can use it, for your everyday convenience. And radio frequency engineering. So whether it's focused on using radio frequency to provide you music, using radio frequencies and IR and infrared systems. See, I'm using my acronyms now. I gotta make sure I explain those to use your remote to cut on the TV. That's where the electrical engineers come in.
And I can add a little bit of that, Jay. Not to cut you off.
No, you're good. I was about to turn it over to you too.
It's okay. So with the electrical engineering, I think that is a broad field, and I think that what they're doing now, they kind of breaking it down to subsections. Just to piggyback a little bit to Tara said, but I feel like I need to slide that in. In electrical engineering and mechanical engineering, they actually, when you talk about robotics now, they have a new degree. It's called mechatronics, which is if you do robotics and you want to learn a little bit more about how body part works, the mechanical, and you learn a portion of your degree, the mechanical aspect of like the kinematics, like how your arm moves. And then you learn the robotics aspect, how to program the arms, and then how to wire in that. University of Maryland, they're the pioneer of that program. And then now Johns Hopkins is taking over as well to add into their curriculum as an undergrad degree. And another thing that we should also mention about computer engineering, they're actually taking that out under electrical engineering. Now computer engineering fall into software engineering. And then they also added a new engineering degree, which is biomedical engineering degree, where like you learn about, because there's a lot of empathy. There's actually good research that I actually presented my senior year in college. And it's pretty much how do you use your nerve muscles to control a robot and then kind of train your brain to activate that. That's one aspect of biomedical engineering mixed with electrical engineering. The other science of biomedical engineering is like knee replacement, hip replacement, all that kind of fall into the mechanical engineering, biomedical and mechanical engineering aspect. So I think with the ABET accreditation, which Jatal is going to take over in a sec, kind of embody all that to say, how do you have all this mechanical engineering, all this engineering degree kind of work together, right? So if you look at a human anatomy, you got to learn the bio, then you have to learn the mechanics, how your joint works. And then you learn a little bit the electronics, how to process signals. And then you learn a little bit of programming, how to make the bionic arm kind of work together. And that's a little bit of caveat that I wanted to add into the electrical engineering, so that we do cool things compared to every other engineering degrees out there.
Whatever. back to the presentation. Yeah, as you know, if you in the engineering field, we be having a little beef going on. You know, he think he's better than me as a civil engineer, but I mean, he is in the house, right? Just saying.
Right.
Back to the presentation. Again, one of the questions that we saw was asked was, you know, what field does chemical engineering fall in? So depending on the school you go to, and I'm going to kind of broadly answer this first. So depending on the school that you go to, any one of these disciplines, whether it be a subcategory or a primary category, they can either be their own bachelor's degree or they may fall under that category. So when I'm not a chemical engineer, but I do know others who are or who had, you know, fallen into that program. Most of them either fell under as oddly as a mechanical engineer or an electrical engineer, and then they transitioned into chemical engineer, or they were at a university that specifically focused on chemical engineering because it is more heavily chemistry based. And again, some of those people falls in the fields of, you know, working with renewable energy, which is why I mentioned mechanical engineering. But you will have to look at research once you understand the type of fields you want to go to. For example, basically, when it comes to engineering is a hard thing. So you have to figure out what is your passion and which aspect of problem solving that you want to be a part of. And, you know, and once you figure that out, then when you start researching universities as to what you want to go to fall into those disciplines. And again, some of these could be in various forms, whether it is as a bachelor's or a master's or a concentration under a bachelor's degree. And that kind of brings me into more of my discussion on education. So next slide, please. Thank you so much. All right. So at minimum, you need a bachelor's degree in engineering from an ABET accredited university. You also need to pass the fundamentals of engineering exam so that you can basically have that proof that you understand those fundamentals. Or it helps you lead also to your professional engineering license. You know, if you want to get a PE, it's best to get your FE and then work 3 years under a PE, and then you take the test for your PE to get the professional engineering license. That's kind of the highest step within engineering, is getting your PE. Depending on where you work, especially when me and Jules was entering into our career fields, you actually did not have to have passed the fundamentals of engineering exam, and then only certain disciplines had. So as a civil engineer, I definitely had to take the FE, and it's necessary for me to take the FE in order to become a professional engineer, because if the foundation of a building is messed up and a building falls from anything, that comes back on the civil engineer mostly. You have to do a lot of research and understanding what problem caused that, but most of them stems on just the foundation was not there. And if that's the case, then again, that comes back on the civil engineer, and that raises an ethical issue as to what happened to how this engineer did not make the proper safety review to ensure that this design was adequate for the amount of people and the amount of equipment or whatever was going into that space, into that building. Another thing is you can, like I said before, when it comes to different functions, depending on your school you go to, if you know you want to specialize in a specific area in those common disciplines, then you may have to get a master's degree in that area. For example, I went to Tennessee State University, and the base level, the common discipline that they had was civil engineering, architectural, mechanical, and electrical. In order for me to be an environmental engineer, I either had to concentrate my research in that and then make sure that my resume had skill set that is associated with environmental engineering, or I could have went ahead and took the next step and got my master's in environmental engineering because they do offer that as a master's, but they didn't offer it as a bachelor's. However, there were other universities that do. So it really just depends on where you want to go and what discipline you want to fall under. And it's okay if you're not fully sure. That's why I gave you those broad concepts, because, you know, you may say, I want to do a little bit of everything in civil engineering. I want to do a little bit of everything in electrical engineering. It's okay to start there. And then as you go in your career, you can do a little bit of everything and then find where you want your niche to be and just start rolling from that. Last thing too is like PhD is not necessary. And it's funny because when we were in school, it was almost as they almost push us not to do that, because oftentimes, of course, if you get a PhD, you have to be paid at a certain salary level, and not a lot of organizations were looking for PhDs to be paid immediately off the bat in that salary range starting off. They wanted you to have more hands-on experience and more local experience. So they often emphasize, at most when you're first starting out, just get your master's degree, work a little bit, and then decide if you want to get your PhD. Another thing about getting your PhD is like where it takes you, because PhD is either mostly for research or mostly for educational requirements, as if your long-term goal is to become a professor and either teach these aspects of engineering or to, I guess it came out, or you want to do research. So if you want to work at a lab or a different organization, you can do research in that particular field. So overall, that is just some of the tidbits that I have about the education aspects of engineering. So again, I highly encourage you to overall definitely get your bachelor's in that field, definitely take the FE, and then learn as you go, as you continuously working.
Thank
Jules?
you so much.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to turn over to Jules real quick to kind of speak on the All-Star Imagination nonprofit that we do. I guess since to wrap it up, due to time, just speaking from a mentoring standpoint, we do lead a nonprofit in Indiana, but we are still exercising things that are virtual. So if anyone is interested in mentorship related to engineering, please contact us and we will get you engaged with our nonprofit organization to do that. Thank you.
Thank
you both so much.
Okay, so we really appreciate that presentation. And we have our next speaker. It's going to be Bryson Scott, who has a BS from the field of the arts.
Yes, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I need everybody to answer.
Great.
Oh.
Great. Good.
Good.
Doing good.
I need high energy. I need high energy. I need high energy. It's for me too. That's what's up. That's what's up. My name is Bryson Scott. I'm a GA at Tennessee State University, under the greatest, the Dr. Robbie Melton. And I want to thank me and my team for having us here to present. And I want to go and get this started. I can share my screen, right? Okay,
Absolutely.
All right, this right here. So my first question I want to ask is, how many people know about crystals in the chakra system? A little bit.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. All right.
I just like how they look.
Just how they look. All right, well, let's get into it then. Well, this is my dedication to Black History Month. I dedicate this as a tribute to be honored and be a vessel of what my ancestors would love to continue to teach, because they were the first to utilize this technology. I do this to be remembered through the spirit, through other spirits that I have encountered with along my journey, giving enlightenment through my relics or my jewelry that I make or present. And then I want to forge a new paradigm of thought and thinking processes. So what are crystals? Crystals are a solid whose atoms are arranged in a highly organized pattern. These patterns are called crystal lattices. They're mathematical in a way, but in a nature's perspective. I like teaching this because it's similar to geometry, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a geometry teacher. The second part to what are crystals. Crystals are also great conductors for electrical impulses and charges. I have a video right here showing you that crystals conduct charges based off mechanical stress. And you'll see it right here. Hold on, play it. Let me play it again, just so y'all can see. Don't mind the mess. from what I learned about crystals is they are connected to the chakra system. I use the chakra system as like a self-help, a self-guide, and something that I utilize every day, something to track my progress of what I see as myself and what I'm working on for myself. The chakras refer to a various energy centers in the body that corresponds to specific nerve bundles and internal organs. The 7 major chakras run from the base of your spine to the top of your head and possess a space for each of its centers in the mind. If these energies get blocked, you may experience physical or emotional symptoms related to a particular chakra. I'm gonna explain the chakras right now. The root chakra is for like basic trust, nourishment, safety, and the right to be here. That's like being grounded in yourself, knowing yourself, being secure within yourself, and not being able to be swayed based off other people's projections of what they see of you. The second one is the sacral chakra. It's responsible for like creativity and creative energy, sexual energy. That targets the basic needs of separation and attachment, support to explore, emotional security, and self-gratification. The third chakra is my favorite chakra because I work on this a lot. I have this piece right here. I wear this every day. It's for wisdom and power. The issues and the needs for this chakra is for proactivity and willpower, and self-esteem, because I feel like if you got a good gut, if you got a good gut of a good healthy gut, then your days, your weeks, your years, and your months should run by smoothly if you're taking care of your gut. The fourth one is the heart chakra. The basic needs and necessities for the heart chakra is love and healing. I say love as in all aspects of self, to other people, your mind, your just daily functions that you see yourself doing, loving yourself, not just having somebody to love you, but loving yourself, loving your mind, loving your body, loving your spirit, and anything related to love. The fifth one is the throat chakra, and its basic needs is communication, self-expression, symbolic reasoning, and communication skills. Those are vital, especially now as we grow older and older. I feel like communication skills are needed, such as like soft skills, because people don't know a lot about soft skills as they grow up, trying to get into certain positions and certain jobs that they need to develop certain soft skills through the throat chakra, through communicating, through being open with people and open with themselves. The sixth chakra is a third eye chakra. It is responsible for awareness, being aware of what's going on around you, being aware of your self-identity, being aware of your independence, being aware of your originality, and then just being aware of how free you are. And the final one is one of my favorites, the crown chakra, because it takes a long time to get there. Those basic needs and issues are related to spiritual connections, maturation, wholeness, developing a worldwide view, not just from like a egotistical view, but having a more loving of universal view and a perspective on things, and spiritual practice. Okay, so in my pieces that I have, I incorporate copper because back in the ancient days, our ancestors used copper for health purposes. Copper has antimicrobial properties that may have I said that all wrong. Copper has antibacterial properties, have made it a popular metal in the medical field. Multiple hospitals have experimented with covering frequently touched surfaces such as bed railing and call buttons with copper or copper alloys in attempts to slow the spread of hospital-acquired infection. Copper kills microbes by interfering with the electrical charge of the organism's cell membranes. Copper has a high copper has a high negative high negative ions that are atoms that have more electrons than protons. Electrons are responsible for the bonding of individual atoms together, creating what you literally see right in front of you. What I mean by that is electrons create basically the light that's in front of you. Anything that you see in front of you, like your hands, your feet, anything that you can take a 360 view and see, touch, and experience for yourself is what I mean by that. That being said, the life force that's pumping sublimely throughout your entire body is called the blood, and it contains all those negative ions because it has a high electrical charge to it. And I will give y'all the benefits of copper. The copper benefits are cardiovascular health. Low copper levels have been linked to both high cholesterol and high blood pressure. Copper is good for immune system boost. Low copper levels have been linked to a deficiency of white blood cells. Copper also helps with urinary tract health. It's powerful in antibiotics and antimicrobial minerals, which can prevent UTIs. Like I said earlier, with the bladder and gut health, it is like hold on, I'm on the zone right now. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all recording. But I was saying the bladder tract health. Copper can prevent an irritated and inflamed bladder. For prostate health, copper can help reduce inflammation in the prostate. Kidney health, low copper levels have been linked to kidney disease and high terrestrial. Hold on, let me get this out the way. And copper helps increase terrestrial levels. Low testosterone levels may increase the risk of erectile dysfunction, enlarging prostate, and UTIs. Copper also helps increase nervous signaling. Copper can boost nerve signaling and help prevent neurodegeneration. I will show you a slide of what I'm talking about. Crystals and copper. We'll get to that next. Crystals and copper. Crystals and copper, the effect of the copper wrapped around the crystals is invisible to the naked eye. When this is done, this is what called a piezoelectric effect that happens between you and the crystal that is wrapped in the copper and your body. So this is basically what it does. You see how you see a charge going up to the copper? And a piezoelectric effect is a electric charge that accumulates in certain solid materials, such as crystals, certain ceramics, and biological matter, such as bones, DNA, and various proteins, in response to applied mechanical stress, like the video that you've seen earlier in the presentation. You can use piezoelectric therapy to improve the natural healing processes of connective tissues, muscles, tendons, and ligaments of the body in affected areas. It also helps quickly reduce pain.
Okay, are you finished with the presentation, Mr. Scott?
No, I got more.
Okay, just a few more minutes because we're going to get to the keynote speaker, okay?
Yeah,
Thank you.
And then this is what the piezoelectric healing looks like. This is somebody who buys crystals off me from in Houston, and he uses it in his therapy. And he shows the results from when you rubbing a clear quartz crystal. That's what he has in his hand right now on the tissues, and you see how after that session, how it just disappeared, how the bruising disappeared. And yes, I'm in the process of right now developing a augmented store to sell my products. I'm just skip to the end. And yeah, that's it. Here goes my Instagram page. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. All right, there we go.
Okay, thank you so much for that presentation. Again, everybody, if you have any questions for any of the speakers, if you could just drop them in the chat, and we are definitely going to get to that towards the end. So we are very excited to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Robbie Melton, who will share her background expertise in the field of technology.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. And I know it's Sunday evening, but boy, do I have some technology to share with you all. So if you can let me share my screen, but at first, I just want you to take a look at me. I'm going to scoot up close so that you can check me out. So everybody wake up. I want you to check me out. From my jewelry, from my earrings, to my clothing, to what I have on, and I'm gonna bring my shoes up because everything that you see on me is smart. Okay, one more time. I might not be smart, but what I have on and what I have to show you today, it's smart. Even in terms of my fingernails, they're smart. So on behalf of emerging technology, I am here to present STEAM in a smart way. First, I want to give a shout out to Bryson. He's one of our grad assistants. And yes, he has me rocking my crystal and my copper, but I'm also rocking all of my technology. So everyone, get yourself together, and whatever I share, you get your phones out and you start clicking away, because most people will not believe you. So you need some proof. Also, I am going to present a slide where while I'm presenting, you can download an app, whether you have an Apple or an Android. I got them all. I would like for you to download an app called Virtual T, and I'm going to bring it up on the slide. Why? Because you, wherever you are in the world, will be able to scan me. Yes, you're going to scan me and see a simulation of a heart, lung, digestive system from wherever you are. So again, I'm going to put up on the slide where you can go to your app store or your Google store. You will download this free app, and by the time I have wrapped up this presentation, you'll be able, wherever you are, to scan me and see the heart and the lungs come out of my shirt. So with that, everyone, my name is Robbie Melton. You're not going to remember it, but you will remember that gadget woman. You're going to say, you know that woman, the smart, she's not smart, but the stuff she has, smart. Because what I'm here to share with you today, many of the items have not reached market. My job in the area of STEM and technology is to go all over the world and meet with designers and developers to say, what if? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and prepare yourself, everyone, because you will not be the same. So if you can give me a thumbs up, if you can see my little bio, everyone, any thumbs up? Life is good, because I want you to take a look at that photo, and I want you to take a look at me. Look at photo, look at me. There's a big discrepancy. See, with technology, you can make yourself look good. I want you to know I added hair. I took off a little weight. I even changed the color of my jacket. All that with technology. So I say to you all out there, what if we had technology where you could go, I can make myself look great. So on behalf of the Internet of Everything, I want you all to just look around where you are right now. Look on the floor, look at your wall, look at yourself. Guess what? I can make it all smart. Smart floors, smart walls. And with all of that smartness, as the other speakers shared, we talk about computer science, engineering, and as Bryson would say, the arts, mathematics. But what if I am an appologist? What is an appologist? I study mobile apps and smart gadgets. So with that, you all know that technology changed and is changing. So here is the app that I would like for you to download. Again, it's free, whether you have an iPhone or an Android, doesn't matter. It's called Virtual T-App. So go ahead while I'm presenting, because at the end, it's gonna blow your mind. So everyone, yes, I'm smart. I have smart clothes on, and your first piece of technology is for me to hold up this little item right here. Yes, go ahead. You're going to say, it looks like a mouse. It's not a mouse. It's a wash machine. Okay, I'll get close because some of you already start blinking. It's a wash machine. This is your up and coming wash machine. Why? Because we have smart clothes coming in. So if I took mustard and squirted all over me, all I would have to say is clean me. And the shirt will start cleaning itself. Also, this is an infrared wash machine. So if I'm walking somewhere and mud comes on me, I can point my wash machine right at my clothes and it will clean itself. I know some of you are going, okay, let me get my phone out right now. Not only that, I have to prepare everyone for new jobs that you haven't heard of, digital marketing, chief listening skills, algorithm developer. These are jobs that are up and coming, and you all must be tech smart with it. So with that, everyone, check out my nails. They're smart nails. On this side, I have nano nails. Yes, I have computers in my nails where I can operate machinery, my computer. I can turn off lights just by my nails. Also on this side, you better believe it, I have smart nail polish. Okay, you heard me, everybody get close. Smart nail polish. So with my nails, I'm able to detect date rape drugs. So if I'm out and I'm with a group of people and I'm partying, all I have to do is just take my finger and dip it into any liquid. So yes, I have liquid for you. And I just put my nails in. And if my nails come up green, that means drugs. So I want to get close so you can see how my nails are changing right now, right in front of you. This is technology. This is smart technology. where again, you can detect date rape drug just by dipping your finger into liquid. Not only that, and here, let me just share with you on behalf of time,
well, when we choose
so
our
you
nail
know
polish, I'm
all
talking
of
about
this is
women here,
now.
color is usually the most important factor. You know, is it going to match what I'm wearing? But now a group of young inventors say their nail polish could keep you from becoming a victim of date rape.
Sounds crazy, but they say it is able to detect if your drink is spiked by simply dipping your finger in the drink. Fox 10's Mark Martinez live tonight with how this works.
So
well, when we choose our nail,
because of time, I want you to check out my jewelry. You think it's jewelry. I say no, I have smart jewelry. On this side, I am wearing a full motherboard Raspberry Pi computer. I can take off my earring, and with that earring, I can Bluetooth that baby to a monitor that I can put in my purse. Yes, I have a monitor that folds up, and I can put it in my purse, pop that baby out, take off my earrings. And in terms of a keyboard, no. You might think that these are brass knuckles, but no, this is your new keyboard. You put it on your finger and you type wherever you are. Those in the medical field, behind me, I have a medical tattoo. My doctor is monitoring my whole body. So if I get stressed out or if something isn't going right, my bio nano medical tattoo is connected to alert my doctor at all times. And you better believe it. Oh yeah, we have smart rings. Look at all these rings I have on. This particular set of rings monitor your love. However, it also monitors your heartbeat. So what happens, you and whoever you love have on your rings, and guess what? You can hear each other's heartbeat. I use it to make sure my husband is alive. So with all of this technology, again, and you will see my but we have so much more to go because again, I'm wearing Bryson's jewelry, but I'm also wearing a full motherboard computer. Oh yes, here you thought it was a necklace to go with my attire. We're talking about—
Who says smart can't be beautiful? Now you can have the best of both worlds. This is Cuff. It's a tiny device with technology inside.
So with that, everyone, and again, you have in your hands more technology than we had in sending Apollo 14 spaceship in the air. Again, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, you all are holding an amazing piece of technology, more powerful than what we sent the man in space. And what do? We play Candy Crush. I want you all to wake up to what the possibilities of what you have. And by the way, you don't need an iPhone 13, 12, 11. Your old technology of the iPhone 2, 3, 4, Androids, Blackberries, Windows are all used right now over in the Middle East to launch missiles. Yes, you heard me. All of those old phones, where do they go? They go over to the Middle East and they use them to launch missiles while we are up here playing Candy Crush. So again, I'm here to wake you up to what these phones can do.
When I grow up,
I'll be the hero of my storybook. I'll start at zero and rise and fall and rise and fall again. When I grow up, the sun will greet me. Let's go, let's roll. I practice every move, so inspired. When I grow up, I'll be good and strong. I'll create a world where I belong. When I grow up.
What you see, I've already shared with you as I hold up all of these pieces of technology. When you see these commercials, when you hear of these things, you better know Gadget Woman over here has already had it for at least 3 to 5 years. Yes, you heard me, 3 to 5 years. My job in technology is to boldly go where no educator has gone before. And that is to look at what this technology can do for us. So whether it is the watch, by the way, I have better watches. I also have better phones. Check out this concept phone. Oh, before you even think about it, you better know I got every phone you can know. I have phones, yes. I have the foldable phones. I have it to fold this way. I have it to fold that way. I have phones that haven't even hit market. My phones can even take videos and photos. My phones can even detect skin cancer the first screening. You see, you got to wake up to this technology. And yes, you're saying, wait a minute, is she a woman of color? Yes, I'm a woman of color that's in a field that needs women of color. So check out this concept phone. So again, I get technology to me all the time, whether it's apple, peaches, pumpkin, or orange. You all need to know that I test out technology for all areas. But here is a piece of technology. You're talking about some phone, forget the phone. We're talking about infrared technology. Check this out. Yes, she's in the bathtub. She's using the phone. Again, I get a chance to look at all of this technology, but ladies and gentlemen, wake up. On behalf of Microsoft, we're talking some real tech here. We're talking about the HoloLens. So before I share with you, yes, can you believe I'm into virtual reality, augmented reality? Name it, I have it. So when you come and you play with Robbie Melton, you better come correct. You better come being able to create. And on behalf of Microsoft, check this technology out.
Look around. Technology is all around us. We use it in every aspect of our lives. It enables us to do amazing things. But what if we could go further? What if we could go beyond the screen, where your digital world is blended with your real world? Now we can. This is the world with holograms. What will they enable us to do? New ways to visualize our work.
I have an idea for the fuel tank.
New ways to share ideas with each other.
How are things going your end?
I just put the images in OneDrive.
Perfect.
More immersive ways to play. New ways to teach and learn.
So put the new trap in the place of the old one.
Now what?
And tighten here and here.
New ways to collaborate and explore the places we've never been.
Look at this formation. Let's take a closer look.
And new ways to create the things we imagine. Because when you change the way you see the world, you can change the world you see. This is Microsoft HoloLens.
Can you believe it? And yes, I have the Microsoft HoloLens, hot off the press. See, in my area of STEM, again, I have the opportunity of beta testing this out to see what are the values for teaching and learning. So with that, on behalf of Verizon, check this technology. And the technology that you see,
What do we want to build
we
next?
have
That's the
today.
question. Every day, when you have the most advanced tools, you want to make something with them. Something that helps safeguard our shores. Helps someone see through a wall. Helps those nowhere near the right doctor stand a chance.
Thing in the extremities?
Technology can do that.
Who can tell me the third life cycle stage of the frog?
It can take a sick kid to school
Hey,
and help ensure a constant supply of clean energy. The things we build share one belief that the world's biggest challenges deserve even bigger solutions. Powerful.
And yes, my robot is right back here. My robot is 4 feet 3 inches tall. His name is Megatron. And again, I have him quiet because he will wake up all of the other robots around me. And I'm cruising with my Instagram. Yes, I can blink and all of a sudden it could capture all that we are doing. So again, you're welcome to technology. And we have not only smart items, we have smart toys. And this brings in cybersecurity, because there are opportunities in cybersecurity. Yes, I have my Hello Barbie, and I make sure with every presentation that you all know that with all this technology, you must be smart when it comes to security. So I'm going to give you a little smartness today.
Parents and child advocates are concerned about a new artificially intelligent type of Barbie doll that's planning on being released soon.
Why? Because people can hack into our children's toys if we are not smart about protecting them. But with that, I have to go back to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you're going to learn today, because I'm a teacher. You got to learn something. When you take those selfies, when you are allowing people to photograph you, please make sure that you do not hold up your fingers where they can see your fingertips. Here is a new cyber security issue where people are partying, they give the peace sign. What they are able to do, even if you are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they are able to take their phone, and when you hold up those fingers, they can pick up your fingerprints and steal your identity. You see, something so small can all of a sudden impact us. And that's just by partying and not being aware. So you learned a little bit. Just make sure, hey, hold up your smart nails. So with that, everyone, and do the time, I want to share with you a breakthrough in emerging technology. What you're going to see has already happened 7 years ago, but you all are just finding out. You will also see some of the tools that they use that I have right here. So with that, everyone, we're going to 3D print some ears. Yes, you heard me, ears.
I'm Dr. Benasser, and my lab makes ears. The invention that we've discovered is a way to print living cells in a material that can be used to reconstruct tissues in the body. My laboratory is interested in regenerating cartilage wherever it's found in the body. The process starts with a scan of an ear. We sit someone down in a chair, and we have a camera that spins around their head and takes a 3D image of their head. We then can very precisely map out the topology of the ear. The next kind of key step is developing the ink for this printer. This ink is actually a living ink. It contains living cells. It's alive when we put it into the printer. It's alive when it comes out of the printer. The real power of the printing technique is that it can be used to make geometries that you just can't make with any other technique. You can make parts with holes in them. We can layer and cover and put different cells next to each other to create really the complex organs that make up our bodies. And after 2 months in an incubator, the tissue fills in and looks white, just like real cartilage. The implants that we're making are not rubber or plastic. They are alive. They grow inside the body or out. And this has a whole host of advantages over conventional technology. The body accepts these materials like it's part of the body because it is. Our long-term goals are to change the way.
Okay, everybody, if you didn't get that, they are 3D printing ears and other body parts using living cells, a 3D printer that you can put on your table. And you're not amazed? And you're not saying, whoa, all of this smart technology, but I got a couple of more, just hold with me. And I'm mindful of the time, but again, as I shared with you before, look at that data. Only 2% of women of color are in these STEAM fields. Only 2%. So I'm looking at all of you to say, we got to step up. By the way, only 6% of men of color are in these STEM fields. So I want you to understand, don't think about computer science and all that like, oh no, I'm not gonna be doing C++, DOS and whatever. Look at my job, look at my position. Wouldn't you love to beta test technology? So with that, everyone, very quickly, I just want to share with you some of the medical technology. As I pulled off a few minutes ago, this is a stethoscope, but it's different. You use your phone. Yes, you use your phone as a stethoscope. Also, I have here so you can actually see it. This is your new eye exam tool. No more going to the ophthalmologist for that eye exam. No, you're going to take your phone, you're going to put this on the phone, and your ophthalmologist is able to look live right there in your eye. And yes, we have it for the ears. And on behalf of breast cancer, skin cancer, we're working on a mobile app. Did you hear that word? App. Where you just hold your phone over your skin and it will give you your first screening of skin cancer. And of course, again, you saw me spotting my smart glasses.
They're here.
But I want to share with you, some of you are gamers out there. Do you know while we were playing Candy Crush, that the Candy Crush Corporation made over $16 billion. And that's us playing a preschool game of connecting colors. You all should be game designers. What if you created a game like Madden or Fortnite? You wouldn't ever have to worry about wealth for you, your family, or your neighborhood. So what if? Well, someone said, what if there was a smart basketball? Oh, you know I got it. So what would a smart basketball do? Well, of course, it's going to let me know that I can't dribble and I shouldn't be playing basketball. But what this ball is able to do is give you real-time, on-demand data. The coach could be in Alaska and I can be playing ball, and the data coming off that ball on how I'm holding the ball, how I'm shooting the ball, how far that ball is getting to the net is in real time. So with that, everyone, I want you to know, and I'm going to skip past this because I got some new technology that I want to share with you all. So I'm going to come off the screen today. Hold on, because I'm mindful of, yes, I have smart water too. So I got something, and I know I only got a few minutes, but think about it. What if you could smell odors on your phone? Well, you can. We have a new technology coming out where you are able to put this device on your phone, and now you can smell different things. You might think, why? I don't know why, but someone said, what if? I also have smart utensils. Here is a smart fork. Yep, you see it, smart fork. Well, why would you need a smart fork? You know, what if we had a smart fork that will let us know what we are eating? What if we had a smart fork that would let us know that when we dip that fork or spoon into oatmeal, it will break down the protein, the salt, the sugar? What if we had a smart belt? Yes, you heard me, belt, to let me know if I'm gaining weight. You could say, you could look at you to see if you're gaining weight, but what if it could break it down in terms of density? You see, everyone, we have technology at our hand, but what if we had a smart diaper? Okay, everybody look at me. You heard me. A smart diaper or smart panties. What would that do? Well, someone created smart undies to help those in the hospital, in the nursing home, to monitor people who are in need of self-care skill. See, you started laughing, I know, because I laughed too. But think of how many people are in hospital beds or at home and need changing. These smart diapers and these smart undies will contact you by phone to let you know, please go and change Betty, whoever. You all should be amazed. And just to let you know, we even have smart PJs for children. Yes, you see the little PJs? And what this will do is to help those, to put children to sleep, because the PJs will sing to the children, as well as teach them English. I'm going to wrap up. Yes, there's an end to this, because you know I can rock and roll. I don't know why Dr. Brown and Miss Wiggins asked me to speak, because I could take you to another level where you'll be like, oh my gosh. But all of this technology of coding and creating starts at preschool. Did you all hear me? At preschool, I have Code a Pillar for preschoolers. And many of us don't even know the first concept of computational thinking. I want to introduce you to two robots. Our first robot is a medical robot. It's a cat. Yes, you see the cat. I'm going to turn Della on. Della will recognize my voice. I'm going to bring her close. You hear her. She's responding to my voice. And if you rub her, she purrs, you can feel her. You're probably saying, so what if? What if we had a robot like this that can calm senior citizens down, because we have research to say that pets can lower blood pressure. But all of us can't handle pets or allergies, all of that, or cleaning. But what if we have a cat robot to do the same? Let me tell you, on behalf of Brown University, it is work. They picked up $1 million grant just to use this robot. But I'm not through. I want to introduce you to Keisha. Come on, Keisha. Here's Keisha. Yes, and I'm going to turn Keisha on. And before you say, is that Chucky? No, this Keisha. Come on, Keisha, wake it up. Keisha is a smart robot. Keisha teaches a language. Did you all hear that? Keisha teaches a language. And as she's teaching me Spanish, she grows as I learn to grow in that language, where we can actually have a conversation. So as we end up, I need to know if anyone downloaded that app of Virtual Tea. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to come off of camera. I'm going to take off my jewelry so that you can get a full view. And I'm going to have someone to scan me. And the first person that can scan me and actually see my simulation, I'm going to put us all in the back. I am going to stand, hold up everyone. I want you to, and I have my lights on so you can scan. If you have that app, open that app and hit continue and then scan my shirt. The first person that can put in the chat that they can see my, I'll give the first 3 people that can see a heart, a lungs. And if you can see it, tap on it again. It'll get deeper and deeper. Put your name in the chat and Miss Wiggins will get your email and I will send you as a thank you a little Amazon card to motivate you to always look at mobile app. So can you see it? Tap on it. You can pull out my heart, my lungs, my intestines. Don't you love this? And you see, I am in Nashville and some of you are across the ocean. Yes, life is good. So I want to thank Dr. Brown. I want to thank Ms. Withworks Wiggins for allowing me to have some of you to increase the number of people of color in STEM. So I thank you all very much, and I will just stay for a few questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Milton. We really appreciate it. I think all of us learned a lot from your presentation. There was a couple questions that people had, if you didn't mind answering. So there was a question regarding radioactive toxins from so much technology, and they asked how this affect our health down the line from so much exposure.
Excellent. That's a great question because we don't know. As we are creating a lot of this technology, of course, we go through OSHA, we go through all of the federal guidelines, et cetera, but we really don't know. I say that because some new technology is coming up, and let me hold it here so you can actually say you saw it. I'm holding here, you would think it's a big light bulb, but it's not. This is your new computer. This is a computer with a projector and you screw it in to any light fixture. Wherever this beams down to, it makes that surface interactive. So if I screwed this into the ceiling and it beamed down to the floor, I can now use my floor as a big computer. I can take my foot and I can tap on the floor and it is a computer if I shared it on the wall or whatever. I'm here to share with you your internet, your Wi-Fi that you go with Comcast, AT&T and whatever. No, your internet is going to come through your light fixture. So in other words, technology and all these rays, and all of you look at Netflix, how you think Netflix is getting to your house? We're wearing, but that's why we need you all. Whoever answered that question should be saying, that's a job for me, because we have to monitor how this technology will impact us, whether it's immediately or long-term.
Thank you. There was also another question, just a question that I had actually. Do you think there's a thing that is too much technology, like technology taking over the world?
I love that one because a lot of people will say technology is making us stupid, quote unquote. If you use technology in the right way, it's going to make you smarter. let me just share with you all. I am 70 years old, 70. And when I was growing up, we never heard of anything more than $1 million. Now, $1 million is nothing. You're talking about billions, trillion, quadrillion, whatever. I'm saying that because our brain only can hold a certain amount of information. The information that we get today really supersedes a lot of us. That's why we have this overload of information. I'm saying to you all, there's good technology, there's bad technology, but who's creating this? So if you're thinking there's too much technology or whatever, then you jump on board and help us to shape this technology. If not, then you're responsible also for this technology taking over us.
Okay, thank you. Is there any more questions in the chat that anybody would like to ask Dr. Milton?
I would like to say that on behalf of Dr. Brown and your organization, we are going to have a part 2 later on in terms of designing apps. All those apps that I presented on my phone, tablet, computer, someone is designing. I didn't say coding, I said designing. And we need designers. Designers make more than coders. We need people to say, what if? So we're going to have a part 2 to help people to design apps. So if you're talking about hypertension and you saw all of these medical things I have, what if we had an app that will alert people and give them information and to let them know when to go to the doctor? So we're going to have a part 2 later on. So again, we're just beginning. I hope that you all will come to Nashville in person this summer, because we will have our academic esports center, where a pathway into STEAM and STEM. We will also have hands-on with all of these robots and Spiro. And yeah, we're going to teach you a little bit about coding. We're going to jumpstart you all. And whether you are here physically or you are across the ocean, we can do it regardless. That's the good part of technology.
We are excited, Dr. Melton, and please don't go anywhere, because Jayla is gonna share that announcement, and then I don't know, I just want you to summarize, because I'm so excited. But at this time, I will go back to Jayla to do our closing, and then we're gonna end with you, Dr. Melton. Now that we've seen your heart, I feel we're like so connected anyway.
So today, you all are a part of KYB Leadership Academy history. Goal 1 is awareness. You attended the 2022 KYB Full STEAM Ahead Conference, increasing your awareness of STEAM fields and smart technology. Goal 2 is empowerment. You will receive an exclusive invitation to attend our next session, which will be an interactive training session on designing apps for RBW PH Awareness Group. Goal 3 is hope. After completing the steps above, you will be invited to participate in the Summer KYB Leadership Academy Coding Camp, where you will have an opportunity to launch your KYB and RBW app in the community. There are a lot more exciting updates that you will receive in the weeks to come, like use of iPads during conference, opportunities to apply for dual enrollment programs in the fall 2022 to earn college credit, and many more details to come. Will you please help us out by completing the survey that's in the chat box? It only takes a few minutes, and it will help us to evaluate today's program. We would love to hear from you. Also, please follow our social media pages on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at KYB Leadership. Thank you again for attending. We hope to see you next year.
Thank you so much, Jayla. And so again, everyone, I just want to say thank you to all of our speakers who we had today. This would not have been possible without you all. And also thank you to Mrs. Wiggins and also Dr. Melton. There's no idea that I have shared with Dr. Melton that she did not say to me, oh, we can do that. Oh, that's easy. So I just want to tell everyone who is on our scholars that we have some exciting things coming to you as part of KYB Leadership Academy. And I would be remiss if I did not say that it is coming to life thanks to the brilliance and genius of Dr. Melton, who is helping us to be smart in all caps. We are being technologically smart. Thank you all again. Are there any final questions before we close out today? Oh, thank you, Rayvanya. I see you.
Dr. Brown, I would like to say, again, we have all of this talent in this room or video Zoom. Someone has to take my place. Someone should, from just this presentation, go, you know what? I need to meet that woman. You know what? I need to find out more. By having the opportunities to have more sessions for you all to actually come to Tennessee State University at no cost. And yes, we're gonna have all these tools right there for you to use. And yes, on behalf of the Apple Corporation, you'll have some chance to interact with the big boys, Apple, Microsoft, all of these. You want to be there for not just opportunities, but for possibilities. I would like to end, Dr. Brown, by reminding everyone, yes, tech is great, but relationships are better. I want everyone to know this is my first time meeting Dr. Brown. However, I know Dr. Ramona Withworks Wiggins. And when she called me and said, would you do this? Because of relationships, I said yes. And I just met Dr. Brown yesterday. You see how life will bring people together? That's because of relationship, not technology. And because of that, I'm able to bring you all of these opportunities to come. And who knows, someone will be taking my place just because of this relationship. So I thank you all very much.
Dr. Milton, the 3 students who were able to get to the App Fest, they put their emails in the chat. Would you like for me to send that to you?
I sent it already.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, they have it. Miss, I'm sure my team, Raven, I saw Raven.
Hey, Dr. Milton.
My protege. Yes, yes, yes.
Exactly. I was just about to say, if you want any information, I will leave my information in the chat box. But hey, Dr. Milton, great presentation.
Dr. Melton, I do have a question. What do you feel has been your greatest accomplishment? And if they have questions also, Raven, if they can put it on the survey when they complete it, that would be great too. And we can't hear you, Dr. Melton, your greatest accomplishment.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, everybody wake up, because this, I never in my entire life, and I'm from the east side of Detroit, I'm from the inner city, ghetto, whatever y'all want to call it, all of that. My greatest accomplishment was being invited to present at the National Science Academy in Cuba. And I was on the same stage as Albert Einstein. Can you all, okay, Albert Einstein. They only invite people from around the world, a select few, to present at the National Science Academy, which is the oldest academy in the world, as a thought leader. And they invited me. I'm from the east side of Detroit, inner city. Look, I was in the Bluebird because I couldn't even read well. And I'm on the same stage as Albert Einstein. Come on, if y'all don't think that there is a God, Lord, thank you. Because never, Albert Einstein, come on. You never know where you will go. And that's why I want to share, Dr. Brown, all of my knowledge, the good and the bad, so someone can also take my place. That is the greatest, Albert Einstein. Okay. And by the way, I was the only one. It wasn't a group of people. They just invited me, and they had scholars from all over the world in the audience. Little Black Robbie Melton, okay, who used to get her hair straightened with a straightening comb. Come on now. Life is good. And by the way, when you do come to Nashville, we also offer high school students dual enrollment, and we pay your tuition. You can earn college credit for all of this. If you're in college, we have a scholarship for you that you can learn all of this online, wherever you are. Right now, we are delivering in 3 countries in Africa. So I don't care where you are. As long as you can get to an internet, I don't care if you have to go to the internet cafe, we can empower you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Dr. Melton. Mrs. Wiggins, did you want to say anything? We would just love to hear from you, and thank you for all that you do for the scholars of KYB Leadership Academy.
No, hello, everyone. I really don't have anything to say behind Dr. Melton. I mean, she's awesome. Again, Raven has put the information in the chat about how to get in touch with us if you're interested in doing dual enrollment or being a part of our coding camp anywhere around the country. Yes, I'm part of, I said country, I mean world. I mean, Dr. Melton it has given me the opportunity of a lifetime, which is teach students in South Africa how to code and create. So I really appreciate that opportunity that she has given me, and you can be a part of this opportunity too, to learn how to do this. So thank you everyone for being a part of this, and thank you, Dr. Melton, for joining us today. And all the other speakers. Bryson, you've done a phenomenal job. I love your jury. And thank you, Jules, for coming from Indiana, for joining us as well.
Thank you again, Mrs. Wiggins, and thank you all so much for joining. Can you just give us some comments in the chat box that you enjoyed today's conference? Let us know, and also please complete the survey. And I will turn it over to you, Alexis, for closing remarks. And if you need any additional information, please, or questions for our speakers, will you please put that on the survey? We will compile all of the questions and get them to everyone. Thank you all again, and have a great evening. I'll turn it to you, Alexis. And please thank our moderators and all of our speakers. They did a wonderful job. And we had KYB leaders from Alabama, Illinois, Tennessee, and Turks and Caicos Islands today. So thank you all so much.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry I can't turn my camera on at the moment, but we wanted to say thank you again for attending, and we hope to see you next year and at future KYB events. If you've attended, once you've attended this event, please make sure that you complete the survey that we send out in the chat, as it is very important for planning future events and planning this event next year as well. Thank you all for coming. Dr. Brown, were those good closing remarks? I just got back in my room.